already making money and the building's not even built yet.
Hell yeah.
I've been rich. I've been poor.
Rich is better.
Rich is better.
All right, lots to do in order to get this one ready to go for tenants. We've got to suite this out probably into 7 different suites if possible. What we're gonna do is lay down the track for steel studs, get the electrician in, plumbing in, HVAC guys gotta get his stuff set, and then we'll be able to put drywall, tape, float, texture, paint, and then we'll be ready to go. So we built this out with the intention of possibly having 7 different suited opportunities, but we only started out with a 2-suite build out. The reason we did that is because a lot of people really like to walk in and say, I'll take it, I want to start leasing this next week, and we love that opportunity. But some people walk in and say, hey, I really want it to be designed this way, or I want the flow to go this way, which means it's a custom build out. So we just wanted the opportunity to have the hybrid between custom and exactly what another tenant might want.
Got one question. What are those?
What's up, hustlers? It's Friday morning. It's been 14 days since we got our permit to get building. So we've got everything framed up. We have our mechanical decking up, and my HVAC guy is here. Okay, so I'm in the job site, subfloor all taken care of. So we can get our HVAC stuff on top, and then electrician is here doing his thing because they're dropping in the electricity for the office spaces. So super excited, wildly hopeful that by Monday we're going to be in the spot to start putting drywall, maybe get paint on this by Friday. It's crazy. So when somebody wants a different layout than we had originally planned, the biggest issue that arises is money. Because a lot of the time the expectation is that we would build that out, which we will, but we have about a 450 square foot allowance as far as the budget is concerned. And a lot of the time, these custom build out, the tenants want something bigger, more elaborate, a little bit more specific to their needs, which is fine, and we're happy to meet those needs. But sometimes it can be a little bit challenging at the negotiation table to make sure that we're both getting exactly what we want at a price tag that's fair to both of us. I mean, this.
Hell of a time to build right now.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
1 year ago today.
Right.
You got OSP, which this is not OSP. It's the particle looking board. It was $7.60 a board.
Now we're at 34, right?
$41.
Shut up. We built this building in 2 different phases. A lot of that had to do with how absolutely terrified we were of the overall project. You never would have expected that from the time building 1 started to the time building 2 started, that coronavirus would have happened and the prices of materials would have skyrocketed between the 2. Building 1 ended up being about half the price of building 2. It still worked out in the business plan. The cash flow is just not quite as good, but the overall appraisal value at the end of the project is going to be really high because of the weird market that we're in. So it really came out in the wash, but that was definitely a ride we just had to endure. Morning. I'm at Hammermill again this morning, kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts. I'm standing in front of some meter cans that don't yet have a meter on them. We called in, the electrician called into the city, they came out. The electrician left the box open to indicate this is what we need you to inspect. And then they red tagged it for having the box open. So it's almost comically frustrating at how hard these inspectors can be sometimes to work with. People just have bad days. I have bad days, we all have bad days. You just want to take it out on somebody else. Just felt like we were the target on this one. Getting the city and then the city-run utility provider to communicate with each other was actually a lot harder than you would imagine. So we had a lot of miscommunication taking place between subs, the developer, the city, and then the city utility district that took quite a bit of time and negotiation and communication to get that all settled out.
Reinspection, if everything looks good, I'll go ahead and send it down as a wire pull.
Yes, sir.
And then once the wire's pulled, I guess you got a CO from the city already, or what's going on there?
Oh, no, sir.
Or you
No.
don't have it?
Well, because
No.
we don't, don't you have to have the power to have a CO?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, some of them confuse me because you know how it goes around here. Sometimes it goes, depends who you know.
No, I don't have that much pull. No, sir.
So the next step is I do my reinspection. I go, if everything looks good, I get a release. We pull the wire, and then you'll call in for your early on. And then once we get the approval from the city that they're able to be, meters will be able to be installed, then we release those for meters to be installed.
Yes, sir.
That or Shelby.
Thanks, sir. Yes, sir, you too.
Bye-bye.
He's actually nice today.
Yeah,
I guess he'd been off. So.
he's been off. He's been on vacation. He feels
Rejuvenated.
good about life again.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't have any idea about when we started was how important the inspections were going to be. So when you get your set of plans back from the civil, you're also going to get a set of plans called the MEP. Your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing all have to go way under the microscope in pretty much any job that's within a municipality to make sure they're building to code. All right, so we're back at Hammermill this morning. We are in day 15 of this office build out, which is absolutely astounding considering the ground we've covered in 15 days. And I pulled up this morning and I saw some tags on the window. Boom, green tags. That's the mechanical. So we're waiting on electrical. That should be done. It's been called in for tomorrow. So we should be able to get that cleared, and then we'll call in with the city to get a cover-up inspection. And then we should be able to get our drywall down and get these tenants moved in. I'll be damned if we're not gonna do this. I shouldn't say that because you never know what can go wrong in the next 5 days. I think my favorite part about construction and learning about building, where we've been in steel fabrication forever, I'm learning so much about, like when you go into a restaurant and there's the surface stuff is all really pretty to look at and it's nice and convenient and mostly just the aesthetics of it all. I love coming onto this base level to learn about stuff like that, about how much work goes into the actual, before you see the pretty stuff. There's a lot that goes underneath it, and I love learning about that.
I'll be searching I was looking for installation wire hanger clip thingamadoobers. I don't even know.
Impalement wire is what it was called.
Yeah. And I can't spell impalement, so I was struggling. I was struggling hard to find installation wire hangers. That's what I was looking for, and it was pulling up a lot of stuff. But anyways, what they wanted us to do is just, you can see this wire.
Hold on, let me get in there.
And then they just impel it all the way through.
There's the wire just stuck through. Oh look, I've been impaled.
And so we'll do that for all the holes. But I called the guy and I was like, man, I don't know. And he's like, oh yeah. And he grabs this wire and he's like, look, do this. It'll pass. I was like, hey. That was insanely easy. I made it so difficult in my mind.
All right, let me give you a quick backup on the entire project, just in case you've never built a building within a city at all. This might be helpful information. So before you can say, hey, this is great land and I want to build a building on it, you've got to go to a civil engineer, and a civil engineer has to get in communication with an architect. So I'm brand new to the game. I'm still kind of terrified that we're about to spend a lot of money that we don't have. And I'm looking at everything that these two people are submitting to me at face value, and I'm not asking a lot of questions. If I would have asked some questions, some of the things that I might have pointed out was that the R value of the insulation that was called out in the ceilings was way too thick for the floor joists that we had. We had 8-inch floor joists and the R value would have been 14 inches thick. Well, that's obviously impossible. We actually ended up putting standard R value insulation in a couple of the other build outs that we had done. This build out That particular inspector, I don't know, maybe he read an email that morning about how important insulation was and was really on it. And when he walked in, he said, hey, this R value doesn't match what's called out in the prints. You're gonna have to fix it. And at that time, because the entire framing had been done, the only way to fix it was to pull out the insulation we had placed and put spray foam everywhere, which created its own problems. One, spray foam's really expensive, super unnecessary for this type of build out, but also it creates a mess. In this particular situation, all that spray foam particle got on the floor, and we spent a lot of time cleaning that up so that our bare concrete floors looked okay for the build out itself. So we pulled, you can still see it behind me, all of the insulation, about $3,000 worth just sitting there. And now we're gonna use spray foam in the ceilings and then in the walls as well. So today's the day. So we're hoping to just keep this ball rolling. We're still pushing pretty hard on 6 days left now until the tenant's moving in. We'll see if we can make it. Hey, you. Yeah, you. I need you to like and subscribe to this page so the YouTube algorithm can get this out to the people that need to see it. Listen, I'm an ENTJ and Myers-Briggs, a 3 on the Enneagram, and my love language is words of affirmation. So you've never met anyone more desperate for you to like and subscribe than me.